Hey everybody. In today's video, I'm going to talk about Power Query, specifically what it is, what it does, and how you can get started with using it. So if you've never heard of Power Query or you've never had a chance to use it, this can help you, start to get comfortable with it. So with Power Query, you can access it on the Data tab if you've got a new version of Excel, let's say since 2016 and onward. You should be able to see it on the Data tab. There's a section to get and transform data. And if you've got Excel 2010 or 2013, you can access it via a built-in feature. So you can look for a Power Query add-on in Google, search for it, install it that way. But if you've got 2016 or later or running Office 365, Microsoft 365, then you've got it right in the Data tab. And so the benefit of Power Query is it makes it easy to pull in data from different sources. So for instance, if I click on the Get Data button here, there's a lot of different options I can choose from. I can select from file, I can select from a different workbook, from a CSV file, even a PDF. I can select a folder. It can pull all the files from a folder, for instance. If you've got different online databases, SQL databases they have access to, you can pull in data from there. So it's really good at pulling in information from different places, either within your own computer or online. So it pulls in a lot of data, and then once you've got it into Power Query, then you can make changes to it. So you can manipulate the data, you can remove things that you don't need, and make changes to it. And so I'm going to show you how we can just get started with loading data into Power Query. Because one of the initial steps when I was learning about Power Query that I found confusing was, okay, how do you get started with this, right? And how do you actually launch Power Query? And the key thing is you want to have some data initially to work with. So here I've got a sample table of sales data. Now it's not converted into a table yet, but once I load it into Power Query, it'll automatically convert it into a table. So as long as it looks like something resembling a table, then you can load it into Power Query and start using Power Query. So here what I can do is there's different buttons on here, and there's one for from table or range. So I can just get data from table or range. So if I just select anywhere on my range, it'll detect the data and pull that into Power Query. So I click on that button, from table or range. What it's going to do is it's going to try to detect my data set. So I've got about 1,000 rows in here, and it's going to detect it, right? So it's got that range. It's going to ask me if my table has headers, which it does. So if I say that it doesn't have headers, then it's just going to put generic column 1, column 2, column 3, and so on as the headers. So I don't want it to do that because I have headers in here, so I want it to use the headers that I have. So I'm going to leave that checked off and say my table has headers. I'm going to hit OK. And now it's going to load this data into Power Query where I can start using it, start making changes to it. And so we've got it loaded in here. So this is the exact same format that I had in Excel. So nothing's been done at this point, but it pulls it in here. And now, I could make changes to it, whether it's, let's say, removing a column. I right click here, remove this column. Let's say I change the name. I want to change from store ID, so I can double click on here and just type in store number, and then it does that. And one thing you'll notice on the right hand side is we've got these applied steps. So this is where it's sort of like a macro recorder, because it's recording every step that you make, and every time you refresh the data, it's going to go through each one of these steps. So the first step is pulling the source. So my table in my Excel workbook was called table 1. So it's referencing that range, it's pulling the content from it, it's spitting this out. First thing I did here was remove the column. You'll notice here I've still got that product ID, but here I've removed it, right? So you can go from one step to another. You can walk through the process of what you did along the way. Here we've got the initial data table that was loaded into Power Query, but here this step to remove the column, you can see there are formulas in Power Query that it uses, but because it's easy to just right click and make these changes, you don't have to go into the code and do this. Like if I open up this advanced editor here, you'll see that it actually saves this code. So it's sort of like a macro where it says, okay, we remove the columns, rename the columns. But the good news is you don't have to remember this code. You don't have to do this. You can just make these changes right within here, and it's going to save those, and it's basically printing those lines to say, okay, these are the steps that this user made. So every time we load the macro, that's what we're going to do. We're going to run through the exact same things. Here we've renamed the column, so you can see we've got store number. But if I go back to this step, that's store ID. So that's how it's recording these steps along the way, making these changes, and by doing that, you're saving these steps, and so that way when you're finished making the changes, you can load this data into Excel and say, okay, I'm done with it. I don't need to do anything else with it. In that case, I can hit the close and load button, and what it's going to do now is it's going to create another sheet for me that has this output. So my formats might be a little bit off here because I didn't change the formats, but you can make those changes obviously still within the spreadsheet, or you can make them in Power Query. Now, a lot of the changes you can make are both in Power Query and in your Excel spreadsheet. The benefit of doing them in Power Query is, in this example, I just used a data set that was already within my file. But let's say I've got this tab in a separate file, in a separate Excel workbook. So that's where Power Query can be really helpful, because suppose you've got a massive data file that's 10 megs, 100 megs large. You don't want to be carrying around that data set within every single file, right? So a good thing you can do is have one file that acts as your data set, and another as sort of your front end or your reporting interface, like this. So let's say this is where I've cleaned up the data. This is where I can start maybe creating pivot tables off it, and where this is sort of the raw data that could be sitting in a separate file. So we just pull it in as it's needed, and if we do the refresh, Power Query is going to run through all those steps again, reapplying them one by one. So if I go to the data tab and do a refresh all, then what it's going to do is it's going to run through those steps in Power Query. And actually, if I click on this link here, queries and connections, you'll see I've got that table 1 in there. So that's my table that I've loaded in Power Query. So when I do the refresh, you'll see it's loading the data, and it's doing those steps right afterwards. So there weren't a lot of steps in that process, so it was fairly quick. But if you've got a lot of steps in your cleanup process in Power Query, you may see that query take a bit of time to update, and so it can take even several minutes, even longer, depending on how big your data source is, how many steps you've got in Power Query. So it can take a while to load. So that's on that queries and connections tab. You'll see the details of all your queries. Here I've just got the one for that table 1, and that's taking this raw data, making those changes that I had, and loading it on table 1 here. So if you had your data file within your Excel spreadsheet, obviously you could just make the changes right here, like the ones I did, where rename the column, remove the column. I mean, those kind of changes you don't really need Power Query for. But suppose you're pulling in data from an external website where you're putting in a URL, making changes, and then you're cleaning it up before you load it. So you're saving yourself some time, because you don't have to go through that process of manually cleaning it up afterwards. You can do it right when you download the data. So let me give you another example. Let's say we wanted to pull in stock price information, right? So if I want to pull data from an external website, I can go back to the data, get data tab, and there's a selection for other sources. We can select from web. And so here I can just load in a URL that I want to download. So in this example, I'm going to use Microsoft stock ticker, right? So if I go to the historical tab, we've got an option to download all the historical prices that fall within this range. So I can right click, copy the link address actually, and then paste it into here. I'm going to hit OK. And now connect. And so if you've got external data sources, you may have to put in a username and password and all that before loading it before making that connection. But here you can see it's got those different columns in there, the historical prices. And so now I have the option to either load this right into Power Query right away, or I can transform the data first. So if I click on transform, I can do a little bit of cleanup before I do this. And so here's a common issue you might run into. You load the data into Power Query, and you've got column 1, column 2, column 3, and these are not really helpful headers at all, especially if you have to reference them in formulas. You're not going to remember what they are. So one of the more common things you can do in a situation like this is click this button to say use the first row as the header. So you're promoting it so that this row is going to move up into the headers. So if I click on that, now you can see we've got that saved step here now created promoted header. So we had that initial source where we got that download that comes from that link, and then we promoted the headers, right? So now let's say you wanted to remove, let's say, the adjusted close, or you just want to keep just the closing value, right? We just want the date and the closing price just to keep it simple. And just like that, we've got it. So we removed all those columns. So you can see all the code here. We've removed those columns, and now hit close and load. And this time, we don't have the raw data loaded separately. So in this case, we've just got that one output. So I can call this, let's say, MSFT for Microsoft stock. So we've got a list of the closing prices going back for that range that I had selected on Yahoo Finance. It's got that query saved in there. It's got 251 rows. So here, because I loaded the data from my table within Excel, this table is still here, but my Power Query output is here. In this case, I pulled this from the web, so it's not, I don't have two tabs, one for the raw data, one for Power Query. I just have the Power Query output. So that's the benefit of doing it through Power Query. I don't have to load the data into here and then make my changes. The benefit of doing it in Power Query is it's done before it actually gets loaded into Excel. So now, if I went to refresh everything, so doing those steps again. So if in the future I run this query again, it's going to access that same link and refresh the data, go through all those steps. So this is where Power Query can be really helpful. I don't have to hold that huge data set, or I don't have to hold all that information going back a year potentially. Like I could even filter this data and say, okay, I'm just going to pull in the most recent 5 days or whatever the case may be. With Power Query, I can apply those changes and have a more efficient file set up just because I'm making the changes that I need, and then it's going to reapply them afterwards after I'm done. So that's a really easy way to keep your file smaller by using Power Query. You can just load in what you need and then make the changes afterwards. So as you can see, there's a lot of benefit from using Power Query in that sense, because one, you're running a leaner operation. You're saving your steps, so that every time you're downloading a certain file or accessing a certain workbook, you don't have to worry about repeating your steps, because Power Query is in essence a macro recorder in that sense, where it's going to record the steps that you're making and then reapply them each and every time. So just by refreshing the data, you don't have to worry, okay, now I have to go through my whole same process. I don't have to create a macro, because Power Query is effectively doing that for you. It's acting like that for you. So there's a lot of benefit to using Power Query. So if you want to get started, I would suggest just use any sort of table that you have that has data on it. Get into Power Query using the data tab, and just selecting something like table or range to load it in there. And just to get started, you can start messing around with Power Query and seeing how it works and and sort of just get comfortable with the changes, moving stuff around, removing stuff, and that's a good way to get started and learning about some of the things you can do. So hope that gives you a good overview on how to get started with Power Query.